Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome, and people outside the gender binary. Welcome to tonight's installment of In the Pipeline with the York Theatre Company. My name is Seth Christenfeld, and I am the literary manager. Literary manager is an East Indian term co-opted by the British Army to mean that weird guy who sits in the back and yells at paper. What it really means is that I deal with many of the scripts that come in and with shows that we're working on, dramaturgy. I also do a lot of proofreading and stuff, but that's just what I do. There's a chill in the air. The aroma of pumpkin spice wafts through the suburban nights. Something really weird is going on with my sinuses. I think that means it's autumn. And so it's been actually almost a year that we've been doing these. I think we did the first one last October, and I hope you've been enjoying them. I don't foresee stopping them anytime soon. We're going to keep doing more of these. I've already got some stuff lined up for next month that you're not going to want to miss. But as for tonight, we've got two terrific and very different developing musicals to share with you. And the first one, we're going to bring up the writer of it tonight, and he's going to actually be playing live, which is a treat. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. James Harvey and the World of Prime Day. Hello, James.
Hey, Seth. Hi, how
are you? I'm good.
Great.
How are you? Excellent.
Great.
Would you like to start us off with a song? Great. Yay. Yeah.
Sure. So I think we'll tell you more about the context and background of the show in a bit. But all you really need to know for this song right here is that it's sung very early in the show by the main character, Noah. Noah is a former radiation oncologist who recently lost his job to automation and artificial intelligence. And he's sad about that. That's basically the gist of the song. A warning, if you have any Alexa devices at home, you'll probably want to turn them off because this song will definitely activate them. Alexa, you measure my heart rate. Alexa, you follow my breath. Alexa, you count every step I take. So tell me which step was the first mistake. And then Alexa says, I don't know that one. And Noah sings, Alexa, can you tell me how the hell I ended up like the phonograph, like the fax machine, the rotary phone, the TV screen, unused, refused, abandoned in a basement. Like the Polaroid, like the VCR, the beeper, the human-driven car, outclassed, surpassed, phased out by a replacement. How does something great, something cutting edge, difficult to beat, wind up out of date, left to gather dust, broken, incomplete, and obsolete. Obsolete. Followed every rule, always tried my best. I studied for years, I passed each test. So full of promise, bursting with potential. But it's take a hike, buddy, hit the road. When someone invents a string of code and says, hey doc, it seems you're non-essential. The work was never done, I had lives to save, illnesses to treat. So how was I outrun, made irrelevant, too weak to compete, and obsolete, obsolete. I had a goal, I made a plan, I hoped to serve my fellow man. I tried to find the reason I was put on earth. But something snapped, they set me loose, without a point, without use. I'll never be of help, I'll never be of worth. Cut down before my prime, now all that's left is time. After all the loss, all the desperate years, the days full of rage, the nights of tears, is this it? Is this really salvation? Everybody's glad they're not shivering naked on the street. Who could still be mad when they've got a bed and there's food to eat? Time to just relax. Time to take a seat. Alexa, please help me pull through this and get me back up on my feet. Alexa, please show me the way to face the rest of my days in this strange new place. Alexa, tell me how to be okay with being obsolete.
Thank you for playing that song for us. It's a terrific song.
Pleasure.
Now you can tell us a bit about Prime Day and how we get to this point in the show and what spins out of it.
Absolutely. Prime Day takes place in a near future in which all human labor has been replaced by artificial intelligence. And this show follows Noah, the character who just sang the song, and his wife Valerie as they move to a place called Alexandria, which is a domed smart city built by Amazon for people who have lost their jobs to automation. It's meant to provide for them. And we follow Noah and his wife as they adjust or struggle to adjust with a new life post work. And Noah eventually comes to discover a conspiracy in which he believes that this town is meant to basically exterminate these people.
Interesting.
Yeah, a lot going.
Okay. Yeah. No, it takes quite a turn. It's a very funny show. I read the script last night. It's very funny. It's got a lot of
Thank you.
it's got a lot of stuff going on because I think of you as a really funny writer. You did your solo show a couple of years ago, which was really funny, and the song about your cat and various other things. And is that still available online? Actually, I know it was for a while.
Yes, the Bald-Faced Truth. Right, I filmed my solo comedy show, The Bald-Faced Truth, and for a while it was on Amazon Prime Video, but I removed it to not be a hypocrite while writing the show. So it's on YouTube.
Okay.
You can just watch it for free. You
Excellent.
can watch it right
I
after
highly
this interview.
Excellent. I highly. Well, don't do it right after this interview because there's a whole second half of this show that we have to do. Do it after that.
Of course.
So what brought you to the idea to write this show? Obviously we all know about what Jeff Bezos is and is not doing, and how Amazon is and is not doing things with / to our economy. Every time my dad orders something from them, my mom gets on his case because my dad does order a lot of stuff from them. But yeah, what brought you to it?
Thank you for asking me. I started tinkering around with this idea in 2016. As you know, musicals take a very long time to write.
They do.
And in the run up to the election, and I was very struck early on, even though it's kind of become a cliche at this point, how we were starting to become enclosed in our little epistemological bubbles, and reality was kind of diverging, and the consensus on what is true was breaking apart in the wake of that election. And I, in addition to being horrified by that, I thought it was a very theatrical idea, and I was trying to figure out a way to dramatize that phenomenon. And I thought of course, people living in an actual bubble, an actual artificial reality. So over the years, I would do drafts and drafts of scripts, and the themes and the story and the character kind of emerged gradually through that.
It's very Twilight Zone-ish. Did you have that in mind when you were working on it?
A bit of Twilight Zone, a lot of The Truman Show. I watched The Truman Show again, and I thought that would make a great musical, but I thought it was that movie was so prescient that everything it predicted kind of did come true. So I didn't really quite see the value in trying to.
There's been a version in development. Actually, I don't know if it's still I don't know if it's still in process, but
I'm sure there is. I'm sure it's
maybe we should move on to the second song. We'll chat a bit more after that.
Cool.
Yes. And you're going to be joined by a guest singer.
I will be joined by a guest singer. I'll bring her in 1 second. There she is. She can come in. This is the wonderful Kim Blank.
Hi, Kim Blank.
Singing the role of Valerie.
Thanks for joining us.
It's my joy.
She'll be singing the role of Valerie, which she did at a reading we held earlier this summer. So this couple, Noah and his wife Valerie, come to this town, and their marriage is really on the rocks. And she's really gung-ho about living in this new place, and he is really skeptical. And it puts a wedge in their relationship, and it seems like they don't really stand much of a chance. But in this moment, late in the first act, they bond over binge watching an Amazon Prime original series. And it seems for a brief moment that their relationship has hope. Any questions?
No, other than what's the title of the song?
This song is called Keep Watching.
Great. All yours.
So right before the song starts, they've just watched the first episode of Amazon's sexy, edgy retelling of the Trojan War. And Noah says, all right, that wasn't too bad. Kind of campy.
I knew you'd like it. You always do that. One more?
Sure, why not? Credits roll, we relax, basking in the glow. Can't be sure what's in store, so we're taking it slow.
Lying on the couch, curtains closed, lights are dim. Starting to connect, start to feel at ease, sliding close to him.
All my cares and my worries begin to melt. Been so long, I'd forgotten how good it felt.
Can it all be like this? I don't need something more, just the two of us lying so near. Let the minutes tick by, let the hours fly past, let the rest of the world disappear. I want to keep watching. I want to see where this goes. I want to see the story be told, the whole series unfold. I want to keep watching. What comes next, only heaven knows.
Do I feel we've got hope? Maybe just a tinge.
Nothing stands in our way, nothing stopping us as we binge.
Wasn't sure we'd survive by the way things looked.
But a chapter begins and we are both fully hooked.
Can I let my guard down and unwind?
In each other's arms, legs are intertwined.
Can it all be like this? I don't need something more, just the two of us lying so near. Let the minutes tick by, let the hours fly past, let the rest of the world disappear. I want to keep watching until my brain starts to blur. I want to see the way this proceeds, where the narrative leads. I want to keep watching, watching side by side with her.
Things heat up and now the plot thickens. Here we go, one more episode.
Action rises and my pulse quickens. God, I feel my heart could explode.
Let it stream, oh let it keep playing.
Give me all the turns and the twists. Baby, trust in me when I'm saying right now nothing else exists.
That's the end of the season? They're so short. Might as well finish the whole series, right?
I want to keep watching. I wanna see this thing through. I wanna see it all to the end with my partner, my friend. I wanna keep watching.
I wanna keep watching.
I wanna keep watching side by side with you.
Sorry, I muted myself. We've all had that experience. It was a terrific song. What was the last thing you binged?
What was the last thing we did? We sang a song.
What was the last show you binged?
Oh, the last show I binged. I think you said what was the last thing I did.
No, what was the
we
last
just
show
watched
that you binged?
Ghosts.
Excellent. How is it?
We just watched, my wife and I just watched Ghosts on HBO Max. It was very funny.
Okay.
It's about ghosts.
So I've heard. Kim, what was the last show you binged?
Have you seen it?
I have not yet. I saw an ad for it, but I haven't watched it.
I started Grey's Anatomy, and I did get through season 4, and I'm waiting to get back on the train. It's important for me to get back to that work.
Yes.
But yeah, that was my last bit.
I'm working my way through. Yes. I'm working my way through Letterkenny right now. It's a weird Canadian sitcom.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, speaking of being hypocrites, what was the last thing you ordered from Amazon?
Yes. Thank you for asking. I'm pretty good at not buying from Amazon. If I can if I can easily think of another place to buy it from, something that I want, I won't do it. Like, I know where to get books, so I won't buy books from Amazon. But I'm obsessed with microfiber cloths for cleaning my glasses, and I always lose them. And I don't know where else to get microfiber cloths. So I recently bought a 6-pack from Amazon, and then I lost all of them. So I bought a 30-pack of microfiber cloths from Amazon.
And how many are you down to now?
I have like 3 or so left. So
okay,
there's a lot to do tomorrow.
It's a start. Last thing I bought was a couple of video games because I had a discount. So.
That's how they get you.
So I know. And there aren't any mom and pop video game stores around here anyway. So, yeah. So, yeah, it's a really fun, really smart show. It really goes places. And I'm hoping that at some point in the near future, New York will be able to be part of it. I'd love to bring you back to New York, where longtime Yorkies may recognize you from having done Tune In Time a couple of years ago, back when we did Tune In Time, the musical theater game show. That was a fun thing, and it's always just so difficult to get everyone's schedules together to make it happen. So let's close things off a bit with the final song you're going to play for us tonight.
Yes. So shortly after that last song you just heard, Keep Watching, Valerie finds out that Noah has been waging this secret war against Amazon, and she's obviously extremely disturbed by this. She's hurt that he's lied to her about how he's been spending his days, and she's upset that he hasn't really been embracing this new way of life. And so this song closes out the first act, and it's called Come Back to Earth.
Tell me it's a joke, tell me that I'm not hearing clearly. Was that really you? Have you gone completely insane? You think it's a game trying to incite revolution? Make it all make sense, no wait, never mind, don't explain.
I was once like you, saw the truth and I couldn't handle it. I was once like you, I was being willfully blind.
How can I get through? What else can I do to help you understand? This is all in your mind. Come back to earth, stop this delusion, lost in the cloud of your confusion. Time to wake up, come to your senses, back to reality. Losing the thread, losing your grip, flying away in your rocket ship. Feel solid ground, air on your skin. come back to Earth and let me in. Wasn't this enough? Finally a chance to be happy. Wasn't this enough? Couldn't you embrace our good luck? This was all a dream, but instead you've chosen a nightmare.
Never had a choice, this was all a blow our fate struck.
We can get you help, have Alexa balance your chemistry. Get your head on straight and forget this paranoid plot.
Might not see it yet, but just know that I'm doing this all for you.
No, you really are not. Come back to Earth, back to this planet. We planned the life and we began it. Stop spinning out, stop flying circles above the stratosphere. Look at what's real, see where you are. Not floating past a shooting star. Back to your house, back to your wife. Come back to Earth and find your life.
Wish that things weren't the way that they are, but can't keep our heads in the sand. All that we dreamed of will someday be ours if we find the courage to stand. This world is a mess, make it right with me. We can make a new start, stay and fight with me. This world is a mess, make it right with me. We can make a new start, stay and fight with me. No one's saving us, now it's all up to us.
What's left to say? We're left divided. You found your truth and you decided. I can't convince, I can't keep begging. I can just walk away. Won't give you what you're looking for. Won't help you fight this crazy war. One day you'll see how I moved on. Come back to Earth and find me gone. I am gone.
Dramatic end of first act.
End of the first act.
Yeah. No, that's really terrific stuff, and I hope that the audience, much like me, wants to, in your words, keep watching. One more question for you. You have a good
Yes.
lawyer on hand in case Bezos sues you?
Well, I don't think he would sue me as a fellow bald man. There's kind of a code, and I don't think he would break that. But I have spoken with a lawyer, and I don't want to say too much to incriminate myself, but from this lawyer's opinion, the content of the show is fine. It falls within, freedom of speech. I may have to change the title at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to seeing whatever comes next for it. People can find you online on Instagram at James G. Harvey and on your website at www.jamesharvey.com. They can't follow you on Twitter anymore because you quit Twitter, which is unfortunate because you were a really good Twitter follow.
Oh, thank you.
So, Kim, where can people find Kim? Where can people find you?
K blank KBLNCK BLANCK. I knew I was missing one.
There?
Oh yeah, that's my name.
Excellent. Excellent. Spent enough years on the computer that I can, in fact, type some things quickly. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It has been a pleasure. You and your work are both delightful, as are you, Kim, and I hope to see more from Prime Day soon enough.
Thank you, Seth. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us. Good night.
Bye. Have a good night.
Isn't that terrific, folks? I hope you agree with me that it's terrific. A few housekeeping things before we move on to the second half. So you know, the York has been displaced from our longtime home at the theater at St. Peter's at 54th and Lexington, where we've been for 20 some odd years now, thanks to a giant water main break that happened there last January. Not to mention, the whole gestures at everything. So in the meantime, we are producing some material elsewhere. We had our first in-person performance 2 weeks ago when we presented Leroy Reams's Remembering Jerry Herman show. That went very well. It was at the Theater at St. Jean's on 76th in Lexington, which is also where we will be on October 18th to show for the performance of Blue Roses, a new musical version of The Glass Menagerie, written with book and lyrics by Mimi Turk and music by the great Nancy Ford. Not that Mimi isn't also great; they are both great. And that is a show that should not work, but totally does. I recommend you join us. I'm going to drop information in the chat with links. That's Monday, October 18th, with an excellent cast. Howard McGillen, Jeff Crady, Piper Goodeve, and the magnificent Anita Gillette, and Nancy Ford herself will be at the piano, music directing, and that should be terrific. Tickets are available now. Coming up after that, we have the 2021 Oscar Hammerstein Award Gala. This year, we will be honoring Richard Maltby Jr. and David Shire with the Oscar Hammerstein Award for Lifetime Achievement in Musical Theater. We'll also be honoring longtime friend of the York, Elisa Lottie Stein, with the York Theater Founders Award. That's going to be on Monday, November 1st at the Edison Ballroom on West 47th Street. And you can find more information on that. At the link that I'm going to drop in the chat. Nope, that was not where I meant to put it. That was where I meant to put it. Oh, it's all coming out all vaguely mangled. Oh well, silly world. I'll fix that later. But that we're going to have an incredible batch of people performing. Appearances are scheduled from, deep breath, Lonnie Ackerman, George Lee Andrews, Sierra Bogus, Christian Borle, Carrie Butler, Liz Calloway, Marjorie Cohen, Jen Colella, Josh Dela Cruz, George Dvorsky, Santino Fontana, Montego Glover, Adam Gopnik, Sidney James Harcourt, Eddie Corbett, Norm Lewis, Charlotte Maltby, Sally Mays, Janet Metz, Christiane Knoll, Kelly O'Hara, Sal Viviano, John Weidman, with video appearances by a few people you may have heard of named Stephen Sondheim and Barbara Streisand. Huh? I think it's pretty good. You can click the link in the chat to buy tickets. I hope the link works and didn't get all mangled by the internet. And then after that, we've got our first main stage show in almost 2 years, Cheek to Cheek, Irving Berlin in Hollywood, which is a review of some of the great songs written by Irving Berlin for the movies. And that is conceived, directed, and choreographed by four-time Tony nominee Randy Skinner, and has a book by Barry Kleinbord, and is going to have a terrific cast that we just can't tell you about quite yet. But as Jim Morgan would often say, give us enough money and we might be able to tell you a few things. We could always use a donation. Yeah? Okay. So for the second half of tonight's show, it's going to look a little different because we actually, due to a scheduling snafu, we had to pre-record this interview last night. So it's pre-recorded. I will still be here to answer any questions and whatnot in the chat. So if my shirt looks different, it's because I was wearing a different shirt. If the visual looks slightly different, it's because I forgot to use the ring light. And if the sound is slightly different, it's because I bought this USB mic this afternoon. And Noel Katz, if you're out there, I hope you can hear me now. I hope I am loud enough now. So enjoy my interview with Carrie, Caffrey, and Earl Marrows, the authors of For Show.
See the fire and the blaze that you look in my eyes, you see the fire and the blaze that you desire, baby. So light a match and catch my glow. I see your hunger, flames your craving, your fever's beyond saving, baby. And the infernal cause it's only gonna grow. Will you fade into ember or torch it all till you kill? You better if you wanna be the top of the bill. If you wanna join me on the top of the bill, nothing's coming easy for ya. Gotta suffer and sweat, gotta burn, gotta get, and I will if you wanna be the top of the bill. I'm burning bright on each marquee. Everybody wants to be me, baby. But very few can pay the price. I think it's time the reins start changing. It's a crown, there's no exchanging, baby. But to feed the fire requires a sacrifice. Will you catch and release me? You know I'm running to kill. You better if you wanna be the top of the bill. Soon you're gonna see me on the top of the bill. That's where I'm gonna be. Not afraid to suffer and sweat, not afraid to burn till I get my chance to conquer the hill. 'Cause I'm gonna be the top of the bill. I've been through the fire for the top of the bill. It only pushed me higher to the top of the bill. To the top of the bill.
Carrie and Earl, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Hi.
Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, thank
Where
you.
are you guys joining us from today?
We are in my room in Brooklyn.
In Old Bed-Stuy.
Yeah, in Old Bed-Stuy.
Excellent, excellent. And, thank you for joining us. Now, this I know you guys met at NYU's Graduate Musical Theater Writing Program, which I am also a proud alum of. I've got to ask, what assignment were you guys paired for in first year?
Oh,
Which one was
it was historical figure.
It was the historical figure assignment.
Mhm.
What did we write about?
We wrote a song called Born for Today that was about Nellie Bly, who is a journalist from the 1800s, who was sort of a huge figure for first wave feminism, and she crossed the world in under 80 days and beat Jules Verne's fictional record. So she's a pretty cool lady.
In fact, that song is available on both of Carrie and I's websites. So if you click that link down below, whatever.
Yeah.
But you did it! So
Usually I
if
won't
you,
put this up till later, but I'll do it then too.
but hey, there you go. So that song is available and online.
Yeah. Yeah, we just kind of vibed.
Yeah, we had a really great time. I remember before we even wrote a single note for that song, we sat in a music room for like 2.5 hours and just talked nonsense.
Yeah.
And then we realized that we like talking nonsense, and then we've talked a lot of nonsense in the years since then, and a couple of musicals have been written.
I find that that's an excellent bedrock on which to build a collaboration.
Absolutely.
My
That
writer,
and
James, and I
the
talk a
pizza
lot of
tree.
nonsense
Yeah.
to each other, most of it in the form of Simpsons quotes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell us a bit more about this show we're talking about tonight, For Sure. I know it was your thesis project, and usually, historically at least, before gestures and everything, second year ends with a full equity readings of all the thesis projects, which I presume was not possible in the current environment. So I'm curious how I guess some of it ended up with this package that first song comes from.
Yeah.
Tell us about the show and about your process.
Yes, we'll start from the beginning, Carrie, I guess.
Yeah. I think so. So one of the first things we talked about when we were sort of pitching show ideas to each other was the idea that we both really wanted to write a show for young people. And we both randomly kind of came across this weird connection we had, that we had both had very close friends who had experienced a lot of harassment in the arts education system.
Yeah, like at university and high schools, and we thought initially, we were like, wow, how crazy, we've both had this really traumatic experience growing up. So we're like, wow, we have to write about this because, harassment in education and in performing arts is and so we're like, okay, well, let's do this. And then we've been talking to more people and telling other people like what we're writing about and what our show is. And people keep coming up to us and being like, oh my God, that's so crazy because this happened to us too. And so we've been really inspired because we feel like this is a really pervasive issue at the moment.
Yeah. And I think it's just sort of, especially in the education system, even though the Me Too movement of 2017 has still continued, I feel like it hasn't fully reached a lot of the education system.
Yeah.
So the show follows our protagonist, Cassie Russell, who's a new student at this private academy called Brentwood Prep. And her one and only dream is to get into their award-winning show choir. And she kind of finds, as she's navigating her way through these really intense social circles, that the qualifications for getting into show choir is not just talent. The kind of captain of the show choir, Brianna Morgan, who's like the rich girl who has everything. It's sort of, we play on a lot of high school tropes, but sort of use it to twist it and deepen that narrative. So it starts as what you think is going to be a very high school story. But Brianna Morgan, the girl who has everything, is actually being groomed by the show choir's director, Mr. C. And basically when Cassie discovers this and they see her, she's given the chance to join show choir, but the price is her silence on the issue.
So the professor is like, hey, you know that this terrible thing is going on. I can either give you everything you want or you can out me. And so Cassie has to deal with this incredibly difficult decision, whether or not to do what she knows is right or achieve everything she wants. So it's all about those gray areas in terms of like what we sacrifice to achieve the things we want, what part of our morals and stuff we give up.
Yeah.
That's where the trauma lies in the
Yes.
Yeah, and so we've been writing it for the past 12 months, more than 12 months now. In fact, it's been more than a year.
Yeah, it's been almost a year and a half.
A year and a half. And so we wrote it all through NYU, and we had a reading online in May.
Yeah, so to answer your other question, what we did this year was they had us create these sizzle reels, the first part of which you just watched. Top of the Bill is our opening number, in which Cassie, this new student at the school, is kind of fantasizing about being part of the show choir. But then this fantasy version of Brianna, the show choir captain, starts kind of talking back to her and saying, do you actually have what it takes? What would you do for show is kind of what we want our audience to leave asking themselves. And I think, so with the reading, we did a full reading online, which we were able to do with our fantastic actors, which you just saw in the sizzle reel. And then we've
put together like a demo sort of thing with a whole bunch of stuff that's going to be on our websites and things to give people like more information.
That's sort of interviews with us about the show, the themes.
Yeah.
It's about 20 minutes long. So yeah, that's we did. This great.
This, I think, leads us reasonably well into the second song we're going to play tonight. So tell us a bit about that second song, which is People Like Me.
So People Like Me is a song early in Act 1. It's kind of before all the abuse and assault and grooming stuff has really hit the fan. It's kind of just like setting up our two major protagonists, which are Cassie and Brianna. And it's sort of, initially we wrote it as a solo for Cassie, but we're like, this song isn't working. And then I think it was Carrie's idea to be like, what if we just made it for both of them? And then it was, this I Want song became this duet, became this kind of amorphous thing, and it's we sort of use it to highlight kind of the differences between the two girls, whereas there's Cassie Russell, who's the scholarship student who hasn't got a dollar to her name, and Brianna Morgan, who has everything she could ever want and yet still wants and needs more. And it sort of shows like their kind of joint their joint wants and their joint learnings and yearnings and things. Yeah.
Learnings and yearnast. Yeah.
I'm not the lyricist.
No, I think you just put it pretty well. Basically, what's just happened is Brianna and Cassie have sort of just gotten in a big fight at Brianna's birthday party, which isn't totally relevant, except for the fact that Cassie gets kicked out of the party and thinks that she's the only one that doesn't fit in. But what Brianna's really feeling is that everyone at the party is only there because she's popular and has money, but they don't actually like her. And after she kicks Cassie out, she sort of realizes that nobody is actually paying attention to her or cares about her. So I think at the end of the day, they both have the same goal, which is they just want to fit in.
And who's singing this track?
So this track is sung by Luana Pasaros and Katie Hasterback.
Great.
Another closed door, I've seen that before. Another snap judgment made, and I'm afraid it's 'cause of what I wore, or how I look, or how I don't, who I can be and who I won't. I can't change what they think of me. Will I just end up haunted by what I've always wanted to be? People like me, the NPCs, aren't meant to be celebrities. We cheer them from off stage. People like me don't get to see inside the rose-colored menagerie. We're taught to not engage. I don't people like me never seem to win. People like me, the Gen Z bourgeoisie, are grown and groomed for pedigree. We pose, look pretty, smile. People like me get everything free. We're the ones everyone wants to be. So why am I on trial? I play my part at parties, but even I can see people are pretending to like me. They've got the money to burn. I write the checks, a decade's worth of training, so they respect my family. So long trying to fit into their frame, I forgot that we're all lying. Can't they see that we're the same? People like me have to listen. Whimper, beg for scrap, try not to snap, always dependent on someone's goodwill. Still I try not to care. I try not to care. No one said life's never fair, but just once it'd be nice to have someone else there with me. Not for what I'm tired of being alone. Grand and fake is silicone, so I'm stuck on a pedestal, stuck in my head, alone. What do I have to do to make them see? What do I have to do like me to make people like me?
Ooh, a hook with a double meaning. I love it. Yes, I love a good hook with a double meaning. And I know we have another one of those coming up after we talk a little bit.
Yes.
So audience, if you could not tell, Earl is from Australia.
What? I don't give that away, do I, mate?
So is show choir a thing at all in Australia? Is show choir a thing at all outside of the Midwest?
I had no idea what show choir was when Carrie pitched the idea. Absolutely not a clue. And because I'm not just like, it might be a thing in like city Australia, but I'm from like middle of nowhere Australia. I'm from Red Dirt and Kangaroos. So all I knew was Glee, maybe.
Well, here's the crazy thing. Earl says that now, but when I pitched it to him, he was like very confident, like, "Oh yeah." And then like a month into writing it, I showed him a video, and he was like, "Oh, that's what show choir." Why did you say yes?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. At all times, Carrie, I'm fully there. Yeah.
But yes, if you couldn't tell, I am from the Midwest, where show choir is rampant.
Carrie knows all about them.
I grew up here outside New York City, and I had no idea what show choir was until I was a teenager though, and only then because I would see the actors who I knew talk about having done show choir, and I had no clue what it was. And then I would see videos that they would bring into like shows where they would show embarrassing old videos, and I would watch the video, and I would still have no idea what I had just seen.
They're completely fantastic. They're madness, but they're scale and drama and ridiculousness.
Yeah, it does exist outside of the Midwest. The funny thing is the California show choir groups. That's where the real intense. The Pacific Northwest is where all of the real intense stuff happens. Their budgets are insane. The Midwest groups is where you get like that classic "we're standing on risers," but the California groups have like pyrotechnics and like big budgets.
It's super easy to dismiss show choirs out of hand of being dumb, silly, but they're actually like some of the like so much goes into them, and they're kind of crazy. And I
think all of the craziness about it was what kind of drew us to this form of it. In a way, it's very silly. Of what would you do for show choir? It's very silly the amount that these high schoolers are willing to like die for this thing. But on the other hand, I think we were trying to showcase through the fakeness of show choir the actual truth, kind of paralleling that, and the stark reality of what these kids are going through and how show choirs escape.
I've come across a couple of other show choir musicals in my time, and they're all comedies and spoofs and all really about the jazz hands. And this is the first one I've come across that actually digs deeper than the surface.
Well, because for the kids that are in show choir, like it does seem dumb from the outside, but like from within that, this is their entire world. Right. You know, it's all that matters to them. It's the most important thing. And I feel like, teenagers aren't often given enough credit for the fact that they are real people with real wants, and they're smart and they know what's going on. So we really wanted to kind of be like, no, there's actually a little bit more to this than you think. And that's one of the things we're really passionate about. Yeah.
Carrie, did you do show choir?
So I was actually cut from the team. I didn't get in. But I auditioned as a sophomore, and then they asked me to come back and audition again. And at that point, I was like, no, I'm too big in the high school theater world. So I never did it, but I did go to all of the shows. And some of my best friends in college, who were also from Chicago, where I'm from, did it. And I spent hours and hours watching their videos. I just thought it was the craziest thing. And of course, Glee was my entire high school experience.
Yes. So we're gonna change gears a bit, play the last song, and then we'll chat a bit more and take us out. So tell us a bit about this last song, which is the title song, and once again has a really good hook with a double meaning.
Sure. So this song was actually the very first song we wrote for this show. Originally, what was the original title of the show? It wasn't for show.
It was something ridiculous.
It was another pun that just like didn't fully work. But the idea behind this song is actually for Brianna, the show choir captain. At this point, this song is sort of her 11 o'clock in Act 2. She has tried and failed to report her teacher for harassment. And she has sort of seen how the system works against her and how no one is really willing to speak up for her. So this is sort of a really hard reckoning moment for her, where she is sort of faced with the decisions she's made and her own complicity in Mr. C's grooming of her. The show really deals a lot with complicity as well, because we want to acknowledge that this is not a black and white issue.
It's really complicated.
And so basically in this number, I think she just has to reckon with all of the things she's done for show. And reckoning.
And this is Katie Hasdamack singing again?
Yes, this is Katie Hester.
She was one of your classmates, right?
Yes, the wonderful and lovely Katie Hester.
There's always like one or two god tier singers in every class.
She's incredible, an incredible writer, an
Definitely not
incredible
me.
performer.
Yeah, we're so grateful for her to have
Great.
done all this
So
work.
let's play for show.
"5 a.m. weekends can suck, but you get up and go for show. You stretch and you shower and you contour your face till you glow for show. Your mom and dad fight, so you stick in your beats and see how many times you can take the repeats of Mr. C drilling and drilling the new combo choreo for show. At the warm-up, no one stops to chat, you just mumble hello for show. When you're at the top of the tower, they bow down below for show. So you wave to the teacher cause he looks upset that you share a language the world wouldn't get, and he likes when you laugh, so you giggle and let your hair flow for show. There's a method in madness, and flirting was never a sin. You don't fear a fall when the tightrope has always been thin. So what if he's handsy? It doesn't get under your skin. Why shy away when you asked for his touch? It's much easier just to give in. 'Cause if you let him massage both your shoulders, he's happy. We win. As their leader, I see it like paying a debt that we owe. And if anyone asked why I let him, I'd say, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, but no one would see when I see freeze my face if I started crying all over the place. Captains compete for the team. No one cares about your self-esteem, so just smile and swallow your scream. Mom will pay for LaDuca's. She just won't come sit in the seat I saved in the front row. So she'll never know what I do for show. No, they'll never know what I do for show.
It's good.
An unresolved chord. How
That's John
ominous.
for it.
Great. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. I see on the wall behind you a whole bunch of note cards. Is that rewrites on this show, or is that?
It is absolutely that. We are currently hard at work on developing it a little bit further for a couple of things we got potentially coming up.
Yeah.
Excellent. And maybe the York will be part of that if we ever when we're back and doing stuff like we normally do.
I would love that.
That'd be so exciting. Yeah.
I will keep you guys updated if you guys keep me updated.
Of course.
Definitely.
Of course. You know where to find it. On our website at this link down below.
Earl's really excited about this. Yeah.
I love that you can do that live.
You can also find them on Instagram.
Wow. This is high tech.
It's true.
High tech stuff.
I don't think either of you have actually updated your Instagrams recently, but it's there.
It's true. And it links to our websites, which is probably
which is
more.
right.
We have been keeping those updated.
But your websites are also there.
Thank you.
Great. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for
Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll talk some more soon, I hope.
Yeah.
Okay,
thanks
thank you so
Seth.
much, Seth.
Great.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Have a great
Bye.
evening. Bye, guys.
You too. Bye-bye. And that was Carrie, Caffrey, Earl, Marrows, and the World of For Show. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope you've had as good a time as I have. I say this every time, and I'm going to keep saying it again. One of the things that really attracted me to the York Theater Company when I first started coming to see shows there when I was in high school was the dedication to new musical theater, because new musical theater is the thing I love more than anything else in this world, except maybe cheese. And I hope that in my time as literary manager, which is continuing, it's not going anywhere, I have been a good steward of that dedication. And I hope to continue being a good steward of that dedication. In the meantime, don't forget to like and subscribe, or follow if you're watching us on Facebook. Like and subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube. If you had a good time, tell your friends. This video will remain on YouTube to watch. If you didn't have a good time, I don't know, tell them you saw Cats. Cats is playing somewhere, right? It must be. Anyway, have a great evening. I'm going to go eat dinner. And good night, everybody. Good night.